Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I hope you will like the video, share it, and subscribe. In this video, I'm going to continue my series on how to start and maintain a garden, working only 30 minutes almost every day. I need to tell you that I am 71 years old. I have some health challenges. In fact, I just came in from dialysis because of kidney failure. And also, I have been gardening in the same zip code for a very long time. It's been approximately 36 years, so I know the weather in my area very well, but I'm not God, so anything can happen. I want you to know what I've learned. I'm sharing it with you. Also, an easier way to do it. So if you know anybody that has some health challenges, or if they're a senior citizen and they think they can't have a garden, please share my video with them, because if I can do it, they can do it too. Now, I divided this blog into two parts because I've been doing this series on working 30 minutes a day. So I'm going to share with you first what I've been doing this week, and then I'm going to share with you some seeds that I'm just getting ready to start. Some I started and some I'm getting ready to start, that are all heat tolerant. Because as I stated, I live in Mesquite, Texas, Garden Zone 8A. Even though some of you may be getting a little envious because I'm having, pretty decent weather right now. But if you live in colder climates like Minnesota, Alaska, what's another one of my subscribers? They live in New York, any place in the Midwest. When you're having wonderful temperatures in June, July, August, September, it'll be burning up in North Texas where I live. And even though the temperatures can get over 100 degrees, I've learned what I can grow during that heat wave. And I'm going to share that with you too. Okay, let's get started. Guys, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It is currently 62. The high will be 72, but tomorrow it's going to be 82 degrees. And I'm in North Texas. Mesquite is the city. And my assignment today is to plant some more of my transplants, the little seedlings that I grew inside. Here are the seedlings I'm going to prick out and put into some containers. This is bok choy, and over here I have 1,000 head kale. I love that kale. I have some growing already, but I'm going to get some more in the ground. This is the container that I'm going to put my kale in, and I grew a celebrity tomato in this container. And last fall I added fertilizer, organic fertilizer, and leaves and straw. So all I have to do is just rake this over. We've been getting a lot of rain, so it's real damp. And you know that I don't do a lot of tilling or, disturbing the soil that much. And I'm going to put my kale here. I've shown several times how I plant my seedlings, so I'll just come back when it's done. I've got this finished, and remember, you might lose a couple of them because you're transplanting them so young, but as long as they have the second set of leaves on them, you're able to do that. Remember, I'm only working 30 minutes a day, so I got this done. It only took me 10 minutes, and I didn't bring my phone out yesterday. Let me show you what I planted. I got my celery in, and over here, I got my cauliflower right there. Now I'm going to prick out some bok choy, and I'll show you where I plant them. Here's the bok and pak choy that I grew hydroponically. I'm going to add as many as I can in this 25-gallon container, and I'm not going to let them all grow all the way to maturity, so I'm not worrying about them if they're planted too dense. Okay, I've got my bok choy here, and I'm not putting too much straw around it until I see which ones survive. And it took me 10 minutes, and I'm going to spend my remaining 10 minutes mulching my extra large tomato bed. I removed the domes off of my very large garden bed that I have my tomato plants in. I did this the other day when it was 85 degrees, and I planted some French marigolds in this bed. And of course, you all know I have a lot of onions. Right over there, I'm gonna put 1, 2, maybe 3 more tomato plants. They're upstairs. I just didn't want to bring them all out at the same time. And I'm gonna pop in a couple pictures of the forecast for the next few weeks. One day next week we're gonna have, actually this week we're gonna have 43 degrees, but after that I think 48 will be the lowest, and then it's gonna be like 75. You know, that's typical weather for us in North Texas. But I'm gonna take some mulch in that container right there, and I'm gonna mulch all this up, and that'll be my last 10 minutes of work. I'll be back when it's done. I have my bed mulched with leaves and straw that has been breaking down during the winter. And I want you to know these spare places, I showed you where I'm going to put a couple of tomato plants, but in the other blank places I'm going to put basil. That will help keep some of the insects away. So that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. It's another good day in the neighborhood. It's currently 83 degrees. It's March the 9th. I've got 30 minutes to work today, and what I'm going to do is, but first, let me show you some of the daffodils blooming. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to finish amending this soil right here, this space, with some worm castings. I'm going to transplant some of my marigolds in here and get this area ready here for the tomatoes that I'm hardening off outside under shade cloth. Let me show you. Here are the tomatoes getting filtered sun through this 40% shade cloth. It's real windy now, guys, in North Texas, as I've probably said in a lot of videos. We have to take extra precautions to make sure the plants don't get too much wind until they have acclimated to the environment. So a couple of those tomatoes are going to go right here. The bed over here is going to have a couple of tomatoes and mostly peppers. I put new potting mix in here, as well as some old compost and some fresh compost. As long as you dig a hole deeply into your bed, you can, and then compost if it's not all the way broken down. Just dig it real deep, like I'm doing here. But you see, I got soil trying to go back in it. Yep. Because the tomato plants are not going to go down that far. And then put your compost in there that's not all the way broken down. You can see I got bananas and greens and green onions. And then I cover it up. And as it breaks down, it's going to feed this garden bed. The roots of the plants will really benefit from that nutrition. Now I'm going to add worm castings, and I'll wet this all down, and it'll be ready to plant real soon. I harvested all of the kale that was right in the area here. It's been growing since last fall, all during the winter. And here's the beautiful bouquets of it. Can you see it? I'm going to cook all of this kale in my slow cooker with some smoked turkey wings. And that's some good eating, folks. It was a bad idea to put these green stalks where there was a corner fence, a panel here and here. Good, because it gets a wind break, but it gets too much shade. And in my opinion, I don't think everything grew as good as it could have had. So I know I shouldn't have did this by myself, but I took 2 tiers off of here of each one of these systems, and I put them here on top of cement blocks down there. And this one is still a little unlevel. I need to have help to elevate it with some bricks or blocks. But I know that I should not have lifted up anything that heavy, but I did it anyway. So what I'm going to do to compensate it is tomorrow I'm not coming out at all. If I come out, it'll just be to sit and look, but I'm not going to do any work tomorrow. But I'm happy I got that done, because I can sit right there on my little bench and harvest and plant, and yeah, and then the sun can get all through here. And that's the reason why I changed my mind about putting the cucumbers over in this corner, because I knew it would be too shady. But I know the sunflowers will grow up tall and they will reach the sun. And now that these two tiers are not blocking the sun, they should do well in that corner. I might do some little soft work while I'm sitting down in my chair upstairs in my room, like plant some more seeds, because you know I'm always starting seeds. There are a lot of things that you can grow, especially if you shade your crops. You can grow them in 100+ degree weather. And it has gotten up to 108, 109 with a heat index of much higher in North Texas. So I've learned that I can grow basically almost any type of pepper, whether it is a sweet pepper, a banana pepper, or a hot pepper, like a jalapeno. So those are seeds that I started. Another thing I can grow in those real hot temperatures is eggplant. So I started those seeds yesterday. I can also grow Swiss chard. A lot of people didn't know that, because I've always was told that it was a early spring or late fall crop. But I've noticed that in North Texas, I can grow any variety of chard in the heat. I can also grow sweet potatoes, and I usually start my slips outside around this time of year. But I'm not doing it this year because I have a lot already canned and there's no need for me to grow anymore. Another thing that grows very well, and these are herbs like rosemary and thyme. They can handle the heat. I have enough of that. I have a couple of rosemary plants that survived a 12-degree freeze this past winter, and so I'm going to continue to grow that. But I really need to start seeds today for basil. Not because I need any, because I certainly don't need any. And I've given a lot away. I need to grow them basil with the tomatoes because I notice I get less pests like the hornworm. They don't like the smell of basil, marigolds, and onions. So I companion plant that with my tomato and pepper plants. Because I found out about maybe 5 years ago, I had protected my tomato plants so well that I didn't get any hornworms. But you will not believe this, but it's in one of my videos. I got hornworms on the pepper plants, sweet pepper plants. They were eating them in my side of my greenhouse. Now, another thing I'm going to sow, but not today, because I've learned that cowpeas can take the heat, but they do better when they are direct sowed. So I'm going to do that, and also okra. Just for reference, blueberries, lavender, muscadine grapes. I've grown all of these before, but I have downsized, so I don't have the room to continue to grow them. I've made wine, and it was delicious too, out of the muscadine. So these aren't the only ones that tolerate the heat real well. I'm just sharing with you the ones that I'm growing. Again, I'm going to repeat it. Any type of pepper, eggplant, Swiss chard, cowpeas, and okra. All right, now I'm not going to start seeds for the okra because my experience has taught me, and I did this last year, side-by-side comparison, planting the okra seedlings along with some additional seeds. And the ones that I started indoors and transplanted them, they didn't survive real heartily like the ones that I started from seeds outside. Now let me show you these. If you didn't know, you can use a hydroponic system to start your seeds. You can either have them inside here, like I have this basil planted here and over here. But I'm using the light as a heat source, and then eventually when they germinate, for the Swiss chard, eggplant, and California wonder sweet pepper. And my little grandbaby Bria said, "Big Mama, where are your turtles?" Guys, they were in a shoebox on my shelves, and I hadn't even put them out this year. So she dug them out and put them out because she likes the color that it brings. And it does make you feel better when you see something festive. Here's the rest of the basil that I'm going to grow with my tomatoes and peppers. And please remember, I'm going to direct sow my okra and cow peas into containers because they are a little finicky. Here's the next set of seeds I'm getting ready to acclimate outside. And let me just share with you that these are the cherry zinnias. I grew a lot of different zinnias last year, and they were all seeds that I collected, and I got a fungus. So I was doing some research, and it said that that fungus could be in the soil, it could be in the seed. So I'm not going to grow any of the different varieties that I grew last year. I purchased some inexpensive ones from the dollar store, and that variety is called cherry zinnia. And so I think that's all I'm going to plant this year, unless I change my mind. Over here, these are some peppers. This is the moonflower, the Tour moonflower, red Texas star hibiscus. What is this right here? Oh, this is a datura and a red hibiscus in the same container. More moonflowers. This is the potato leaf mushroom basket tomato, and here are my cucumbers. And right here is the giant green tomato. It won't get any other color but green. So when those other seeds that I just showed you that I'm starting are germinated, I'm going to put these outside and then put them in this spot here. Thank you all so much for watching my video. Again, I am making a special appeal that if you know somebody that's disabled, or if they're a senior citizen and they think they can't have a garden, please share my video with them, and they'll know that they can do it too. Because we have to have a purpose. No matter if you're disabled or if you're a senior citizen and retired like I am, I have to keep doing something to feel my purpose in life, so that I won't get depressed and give up. Because I'm a fighter, and I know that I can live a long time with this kidney disease as long as I take care and watch my diet and eat right and get rest. So that's what I'm sharing with you all.
Hey everybody, it's me, Ron here, and today I wanted to show you that these tomatoes my grandmother grew, these are the biggest cherry tomatoes that she's ever grown hydroponically.
All right, Brian, and we're gonna have them today with dinner, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. I always close with telling you all, you know that I love you, and God loves you too. Bye now.